how do I begin to learn Tantra? My journey has been such a beautiful path for me. It keeps unfolding layers of learning and more expansion, more connection, and better relationships. I'm really loving that. And people being able to meet me and feel me, for me not to be afraid or guarded or keep my armor up when I talk to them or communicate with them, whether it's a colleague or a friend or even one of my patients, just for me to speak to them from a place of love and not from fear. Because with media and everything, we live in a fear-based society and we get held in that energetic sometimes because so many things in life are happening around us. And to meet and to be embraced by others with a loving gesture or a word or a smile can really change someone's day. And it makes you feel good too. Always set healthy boundaries for yourself and don't allow yourself to be disrespected or mistreated by anyone. You've got to be nice to yourself first. I'm going to start with some questions. A really common question that I have, and I've shared it in some other videos, but I love to expand upon it, is how do I begin as a novice to learn Tantra? And a question that I had too, before I even had my first Tantra experience, I was in Barnes and Noble and I found some dummy guide to Tantra. I bought the book, I went home and I put the book on my shelf. I did not open it up because I was under the impression that would be something that I would share with a lover at a later time. So I was like, whenever I find a lover or partner who would be interested in this, then I can jump into this and learn everything that's in this book. But right now it's just me, so I can't get started yet. And that's a big misconception. And that delayed my journey. Later, I ended up dating someone who dated a Tantra coach, and he had really embodied Tantra. When I was with him and experienced certain things, later I opened that same book and it was all about solo practice and stuff, like how to do things on your own. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could have been doing this whole time and having this great experience for myself. And I was just sitting here waiting for someone who'd really want to dive deep, because most people approach relationships or sex, intimacy with things that they have in mind from images that you see through Hollywood or through porn. So no one's thinking that they can have this experience. Then it really is hard to meet someone else who's going to be like, oh yeah, P.S. by the way, you want to do some Tantra sex? That's not a conversation they usually have. People are more familiar with Kama Sutra and let's do a position, then let's have an experience and let's have a really good connection on a deeper level instead of just the different ways you can physically bring your bodies together. Like on a soul level, how can you connect? Because the soul is limitless, it's expansive. Our bodies are just a small part of what our soul lives in and is carried around in to have this experience we have. There's a solo practice. I did create this program. Tantra is a lot about love. It starts with the love and self-care, self-love, but it also goes into self-pleasure. First, have a good practice and be in touch with yourself as far as loving yourself, being here for yourself, knowing how to experience pleasure in your body, understanding your body and what your body desires, what your heart desires. If you can't express that to yourself, how are you going to find the words to express it to a partner? And we need to be able to communicate with others what kind of connections we want to have and what we're looking for in a relationship or with intimacy, so that they know how to meet us in those places. But if we don't even know for ourselves, we can't expect someone else to be a mind reader. We're the one who's going to know ourselves the best. So it's important for us to love ourselves the most. Some of my questions were, how do I start learning about Tantra? That would be a great way to start learning. How do I begin a self-love or pink Tantra practice? Pink Tantra manifests having more love. You have more love within yourself and it creates more love in your life because you vibrate from the setting of like love. Think if you're tuning in on the radio and you want to change the channels and go to a different station because there's something else that you like, or, some music makes you feel better and brings out a different experience and makes you feel happy or a different emotion than another channel might. You just have to tune into that frequency. And when you're tuned into that frequency, other people that are tuning into that frequency, they will match up with you. And that's the kind of people that you will bring into your existence on a daily basis. That's what you're going to encounter. People that are like you, like attracts like. So if you're wanting someone that loves big and has a certain way of living their life, the best way to attract that is to be that first yourself. We spend so much time looking out at other people and being like, oh, you need to fix this and you need to do this and you need to do that. But we don't take the time and say, hey, what do I need to do for me? And a lot of times, instead of being frustrated in relationships we have, they're really just showing you people are hold a mirror up to you for you to see for yourself the things that you also need to work on for you. As you do that inner work and as you vibrate more highly in a frequency of love and you're more loving and happy and satisfied, you will attract people in your life that also have those qualities, which is really nice when you're dating and looking for a partner, when you're looking for friendships, your work, all kinds of things in life, just the experiences that you want to have. So just try to figure out how to change your channel and change your frequency so that you receive more positive, loving experiences that you want or more passionate experiences in your life. But you have to be passionate with yourself too, a little bit. So I'm here to help you with that. Another really great question that I had, how do I have a Tantra session with you? On my website at yestantra.com, there is a Hire Me section. You can look there. I am creating a special program I'm coming up with. Under the Hire Me section, if you want to book a discovery call, you can do that there. That's just figure out a plan of what would be best for you. Whenever I work with people, sometimes people get twisted or confused. I am not having tantric sex with my client. That's not what I offer. I'm a coach on a football team. The coach will guide the team. The coach isn't going to go out there and play football with the team. I'm just here to give you guys all the winning moves so you can be a champion of your own love life and your sexual energy and use that so that you can have better experiences, not just in the bedroom, but outside the bedroom when you walk out into the world, how you live your life. Sometimes you meet people that you can tell how frustrated they act in their lives. We've all felt that something like, wow, they really need to have sex, or because that level of frustration that they're having in their bedroom shows outside and in the world, how they move and how they flow through the world. Let me look at some comments. I need to learn more about being in touch with myself. Yes. Maria, my course really helps you to get more in touch with yourself. I developed this and I made it at a lower price point than private coaching because one, it gives you a way to see my coaching style and what I have to offer everyone here and the message that I'm delivering, the wisdom, the expertise that I can share with all of you. And then you can decide after that where you would like to build upon more and which areas need a little more attention, or it's just a great foundation for you to build a Tantra practice. I'm going to have more courses coming up and you can sign up for my newsletter on my website. And I have a Jade Egg program that's going to be coming up. I still have lots of things in the works, always creating. Yeah, Toddy, I think we all have that misconception with Tantra. Oh, if it's about having sex for hours and hours, like who's going to be up for that with me? Everybody seems to be about that quickie life or more of a shallow level. How did you get involved with Tantra? Okay, thanks for that question. How did I get involved with Tantra? I spoke on this in depth on my talk titled Soulgasms when I first felt like my soul had an orgasm. And it was life-changing. And I go into that in that video. I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to have more information to share with you. But that I went into great detail on that. And it was quite an exciting story. It really was life-changing. About sex-deprived people, yes, you can clearly see how people are, how they feel about themselves by how they carry themselves and how they interact with other people. That's why it's really important to love yourself, because when you do that, then you just have a lot more love for the world. And when you have more patience with yourself, you have more patience with other people. And when you have more empathy for yourself, you have more empathy for other people. And when you trust yourself and you trust your instincts and your body and soul is like, hey, you're really paying attention to me. And I'm really feeling like you're connecting with me. And so I'm really trusting the choices and the decisions you're making. And also if you trust your instincts, your gut instincts, to tell you what's right or wrong for you. If you were to read the testimonials and you read about the program and it didn't resonate for you on a gut instinct level, you just didn't feel like it was for you, then don't do it. Always trust your instincts. Number one, I would have some curiosity. It's like an invitation for you to experience something different, but trust and honor your instincts always. When you trust yourself, you love yourself, and you care for yourself, it shows, and you show other people this high standard you hold for yourself of how you expect to be treated by others, by lovers, by friends. You can sign up on yestantra.com to be notified when the program launches. And Todd, I love your question. I love that you're fascinated. And I did talk the Pink Tantra. I highly recommend the program because that would be a great starting place for you. And then we can go beyond that when you're ready. But that is the foundation. These are the practices that I teach my clients for them to get started so that they can be prepared for what we're going to build upon. It does not do anyone any good to learn how to be a great lover and not be happy with themselves, not to be loving to themselves, because it's not fair to someone else. You're just going to bust all these hot moves on somebody else. And then when they really want to be intimate and connect with you, you're not even in a good vibration with yourself. And you're just going to have a dysfunctional relationship. It doesn't matter if your relationships have good sex, if you're dysfunctional and you're not happy. Like, what's the point? Hooking up and connecting with someone who's tormented? I don't think so. I'll pass on that. I've done that, been there, done that. Not anymore. Suggestions for different breathing techniques. And again, I cover breathing techniques in my program. What I will share with you is breathing deeply is very important for your body. And we get so uptight in society in the way that we breathe. I take care of children as well and little babies after surgery. When we count a baby's respirations and how many breaths per minute, we put our hand on their stomach and we look and listen at the rise and the fall of their stomach, because babies naturally breathe more deeply. That is our natural response by nature, what we do. However, as we grow up, we're conditioned and people around us don't breathe or sigh. We don't want to make so much noise with our breathing, right? So we're more restricted. And then our breathing is more local, just into our chest, into our lung area. And we don't breathe down into our bellies as much anymore. So doing some techniques of breathing really deep into your belly and slowly is really nice. And it's really good also with controlling orgasm, and also sometimes with females, if they tend to tense up right before they're going to have an orgasm, and then the orgasm is not as powerful or it goes away, it's that you didn't give it the breath. Breath is life. Give your sex life some life. Resuscitate your sex life. You know what I'm saying? And breathe into it. Then your orgasms will be more powerful that way as well. Breathing is a great tool. Also, when you're around an environment and there's negative energy or negative people around you, sometimes we also tense up with that. But you don't want to hold that debris within you. I just got to see this great teacher, Sasha Cobra, and she had a very powerful message with this. And I really loved her analogy. And she just said that the eyes and the mouth are like the doors and the windows to your soul. And so whenever things are coming through, just like spring cleaning, you're letting the gunk out, you're going to open those things up so that stuff can move and flow through there. When we're around negative energy, sometimes we tense up and we restrict. But really, you just need to breathe through that and allow that to flow and pass you and breathe it and exhale it back out and say, that's not for me. And that's really important. But also the breathing is really important for orgasms as well. So best for me personally, you have to check with oils, like how they can disintegrate or weaken latex for condoms and things like that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying if you're just for massages and not the impact that it will have on STD prevention or something like that. But if you're giving a massage to someone, I personally like coconut oil a lot. I think coconut oil is really great. Also, if you want to end up using your mouth through some of that too with the massage, if you want to add that with your partner, then it doesn't have a bad taste to it. And it's really great for your hair and for your skin. So lots of benefits from that. Someone asked me a question and said, what about when your wife doesn't enjoy oral, but it turns you on? So there can be a couple of things. So it's better sometimes when I'm able to have a conversation with someone as I guide them through these things, because there are also other questions that I would have with this, so I can go more in depth on it, but I'll just touch lightly on this, okay? What happens is you have to look and see, has she ever enjoyed oral with you? Did she maybe initially in the beginning of the relationship, she enjoyed oral, now she's not as much? Has she had any kind of trauma or anything like that makes her shut down or makes her feel uncomfortable with that? Or is she just really self-conscious about that body part? Because sometimes women can be really self-conscious. They're afraid that there's an odor. And, for us, females are like, I just would not want to do that to another female, right? Some females would rather have oral with a male as opposed to a female. So the idea of doing that to a female is not a turn on for them. So they can't even imagine that's a turn on for you. There can be some things around that. Maybe with what you're doing, maybe she's not really comfortable communicating with you, like what she really needs with oral. Sometimes people with oral, they'll want to focus a lot on the clitoris. For me personally, I'm way, way too sensitive. I just need indirect attention there. For me, I want attention in other areas. It's lower down, more towards the opening of the vaginal area at the bottom part, where the perineum is. Right in that area is a lot of really great nerve sensation for me, and everyone is different. And we have thousands and thousands of nerve endings, and so everyone has their own pleasure points along that. Of certain areas that will have more pleasure for them, and some that have less. Or some, if you give it attention, it's too stimulating or to the point of having discomfort. If she's not comfortable sharing that with you or guiding you along with what you're doing and you're just enjoying it and she's not, you could see why she wouldn't want to. Another thing you can do is try to talk to her about it more, even like just give her your mouth and say, how would, if this was your yoni, whatever, how would you lick this? Show me how you want to do that. She can just lick your lips and do whatever kind of sucking or the kind of sensation, how much sensation she needs, and guide you that way. And that might be a playful way to open up into that. There's other reasons, and talking to your partner in a place before you're going to be intimate and outside of the bedroom so it doesn't get to be a stressful conversation in there. And even say words of affirmation, talking positively to the vagina, the yoni, what pussy, whatever you want to call it. And just saying like words like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Because the person may have some body shame, and just showing your partner how beautiful you think that is, how much pleasure you get from it can be really healing as well. So it all depends upon what is the reason that she's not open to this. And that's something that only she can speak on. If you would want to refer her to me, and if she could have a conversation with me about that. And that's another reason my program is really good. So you could sign up too and gift that experience to her, because that might make her more open to that, because it does focus on pleasure and sensation in those areas as well. So great question. Thanks for sharing that. It's not easy to share these. This person is really brave to share this. He says, why, when my wife is awesome, and he put awesome in all caps, okay, I still feel in need of another person? That's a really brave question. Sometimes your wife, your husband, whatever, your partner can be a really wonderful person and they are very awesome. But sometimes, even though you're having sex or you're having intimacy, you're not having the deep connection with them. If you're not having that deep connection with them, you're going to feel like you're lacking because something is missing. Because you can go through all the mechanics and you can even bring each other to orgasm. You can have children together. You can feel love for the other person. But if you don't know how to connect and have sex with them on a soul level, you can feel like something is missing. And your partner may also feel like something is missing. Another aspect is sometimes if we aren't being true to ourselves and we're not doing self-love to ourselves, we're not having self-care for ourselves, we're not honoring our own bodies, you know what I mean? And we don't really love ourselves, we will feel something is lacking or missing, because really what you're missing most of the time is that you've forgotten to take the time to connect to yourself and give attention to yourself and to give love to yourself. So you don't feel completely fulfilled. You feel like something is missing. But sometimes really you have to look inward and see, instead of being distracted outwardly, like, oh, we want this other person, or we think we want this other thing, or the grass is green on the other side. Really, sometimes your dissatisfaction is really your dissatisfaction either with yourself, and that is getting in the way of you having a deeper connection, or maybe it's just time to try to do something with your partner and dive deeper and have a soul level orgasm together and deepen that connection. Because I'm telling you, that can really enhance your relationship tremendously. That's a really great question. So thanks for sharing that here, and no judgment there at all. I really appreciate you being brave enough to share, because many people feel this way. And, that's why I love working with couples, because I think there's beautiful marriages and you can have so much love and admiration for one another, but we just need to learn how to connect in a way, because no one teaches us these things. We learn about sex either through watching porn. We learn about sex not in a way in connecting. This is a good question about slow sex, basically is what I call it. And it's just, someone was like, I really want to know more about sex that has hardly any movement, but focuses on flowing the energy between the partners. That's really important. And that's what Tantra is about. Tantra is about slowing things down, because when you slow things down, you have more sensation. And that's a misconception a lot of people have. And so they'll have sex, or males that watch porn, they'll have sex and going really fast and hard, and you just creating all this friction, and you think you're really doing a lot. But really, the female receiving that isn't feeling as much sensation. Even you're not feeling as much sensation, because you're moving so fast that your brain can't even process the sensation of what it's actually feeling. So you need to slow things down. And when you can slow things down, you can increase the pleasure. In just stillness, sometimes you can feel so much more pleasure, more than when you go really fast, because when you're going so fast, your brain cannot even keep up with that movement. So it's really important to slow down and energetically. And that's what the Tantra practice, the breath work, the self-love, all of those things tie in and allow you to touch more into the energy of your body, your chakras, and how to connect with someone on an energy level and have pleasure and have these energetic orgasms as well, that I call a soulgasm, can be very life-changing. And if you want to hear more about that, definitely check it out on my YouTube. And I explain it more in depth about how that was very transformative for my life. And that's why I now teach Tantra, because I want to empower other people to be able to experience deeper connection, more intimacy, more self confidence, more love. Life can be so beautiful, and I just want all of you guys to have the best experience while we're here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just want to thank all of you so much for taking the time to join me today. If you have any questions, reply to the video here or drop me an email through yestantra.com. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.